This video is about graphing inequalities on the coordinate plane. So when I graph inequalities, I can use the signs less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. When I graph them on a coordinate plane, I also have to worry about graphing the line and shading. So graphs with the signs that are less than or greater than are going to have dashed lines. So a dashed line should have some kind of breaks in it. That would be like a dashed line. Graphs with signs that are less than or equal to or greater than or equal to will have solid lines. So a solid line means that the line is going to have no break, it's continuous. Then we're going to worry about picking our shading. If you have a less than or equal to, you are going to shade below the line. If you have a greater than or equal to, you are going to shade above the line. So let's practice some graphing problems. The first problem, we have y is greater than 1/5 x plus 3. So my m is always the number in front of the x, so my slope is 1/5. My number by itself is my b value, 0, 3. So on my graph, I'm going to start at 0, 3. I'm going to use my slope, down 1, right 5. And then once I've plotted my points, I need to look at my inequality sign. So my inequality sign in this case is a greater than sign. So a greater than sign with no bar means it should be a dashed line. And because it's greater, my shading should occur above the line. So first I'm going to create a dashed line across this whole graph. I want to make sure that I have arrows on each end of my line. And then I'm going to shade above. So I'm going to shade all of the area that is above my graph. My next equation is y is less than or equal to negative 3x. So my slope is what's in front of the x, negative 3. Because it's just a number, we're going to add a 1 on the bottom. So negative 3 over 1. There is no b value, so my starting point is 0, 0. So I'm going to start at 0, 0. Because of negative 3, I go down 3 and right 1. So I'm going to go down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1, down 3, right 1. Now, because this graph is a less than or equal to, that means my line should be a solid line, and I should shade below. So I'm going to draw my line in first. I want to make sure my line goes all the way across my graph. And then I'm going to shade below my line. The next equation is y is greater than or equal to 3 over 2x minus 8. So my slope again is what's in front of the x, 3 over 2. My y-intercept is 0, negative 8. So I'm going to go to negative 8 on my graph. And I'm going to use my slope up 3, right 2. And then I'm going to look at my sign. So my sign was a greater than sign, which means it should be a solid line. And then I need to shade above my line. So I'm going to draw my line in all the way across my graph. And then in this case, I'm going to shade above. Remember, the shading doesn't have to be perfect as long as I can see what region you are shading. In the last equation, my slope is still in front of the x, even though we switched order, so my slope is negative 2 over 5. My starting point is 0, 6, which is still that number that's by itself. And I also have a less than sign. So I'm going to start by plotting my point at 0, 6 and using the slope to go down 2 and right 5. Because it's a less than sign, that means my line should be dashed and I should shade below. So I'm going to draw my line in. And then I'm going to shade below in this case.